Good morning, guys. Well, I guess it's not good morning for you, but it's good morning for me because it's only 8:40 right now. So today we're going to be on page 199, and we're going to be talking about this equation right here, y equals mx, and we'll talk more about kind of what those pieces are as we move throughout this lesson. So this is kind of our intro problem here. We've got Kendra, and she's a marathon runner who's blind, and she's training for a competition. Her coach graphs a line that represents her distance from the start over the first 10 minutes of a practice 5K race. We're going to find the slope of the line, and then we're going to talk about what equation we could use to find y. So Kendra's distance from the start after X minutes. So what I would probably do is I would look here, but if we go up, it's not perfect, right? So we need some points that are perfect. So I know 0, 0 is perfect, and then I also know, looks like probably right here looks perfect to me. So that would be at 5 and 1. So I could do my change in y, okay? Remember we talked about how change in y over change in x to find our slope. Well, my change in y goes from 0 up to 1, so my change in y would be 1. And then my change in my time, my x, would be from 0 to 5. So my slope is 1/5. Okay? So she runs 1/5 of a kilometer every minute. All right, so then it says the next part is what equation could we use to find y? All right, so in that equation we talked about at the top, this m right here is our slope. Okay, so the nice thing about this equation is that literally all we have to do is take the slope that we find and just put it where that m is. So what I would do is I'd say, all right, my original form, or like the generic form of this, is y equals mx. Well, all I have to do is take this 1/5 and just put it right here. So my new equation is just going to be y equals 1/5 x. And that'll work for anything. So for instance, if I went back to my graph, like my time was 5, well, if I put 5 in here for x, because time is my x value, well, 1/5 times 5 is 1, and the y that goes with 5 is 1. So we know that this equation will work. All right, so now we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to answer some questions about this. So it says, what is the slope of the line that represents her distance from the start? Well, we just did that, right? So her slope is 1/5. And then it says also, what is the equation of the line? Well, that's what we just talked about, y equals 1/5 x, and explain how we found each one. Well, we just started with finding the slope, and then we just plugged it into y equals mx. Really, that's all we have to do for that. All right. So now we're going to go down here, and this is going to be kind of like showing you how we come up with y equals mx. So it says use 0, 0 and x, y as our 2 points. Okay? So if you remember, our slope formula is y equals y sub 1, or y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So our y that we're going to use, our y sub 1 is 0, so I'm going to put a 0 there. And then my x sub 0, or x sub 1 would be there, that's the 0, so that means I have to have x down here like this. All right, and then that would equal, we just have y minus 0, well, that's just y, and x minus 0 is just x. So there we go. And that's where we get the y over x. All right. So now, what can you do to get y alone on one side of the equation? So, what I would do is I would just take this x that's down here from here. We had y over x. I would take y over x, and I would just multiply both sides by x. Because what's going to happen is these are going to end up canceling each other out, and then we have y by itself. So, down here, we can see that once we simplify it, we've got y by itself, and then on this side we have mx. So y equals, and right here we would just have mx. All right, and then our last problem here is in problem 2a, so that's up here where we used 0, 0 and x, y. How do you know that the point 0, 0 is on the graph of any proportional relationship? Because we hopefully know by now that every proportional relationship starts at 0, 0. Okay? So, just to recap today, the main thing is this equation right here. So, the most important things to take from this video today is this equation, so y equals mx, and knowing that that m is the slope. Okay? So m is the slope. That's the most important thing about today, all right? Thank you guys for watching.